It's Miss Crow with yellow hair. I just wanted to welcome you to Pineapple Awareness Week. I wanted to take a second and make a video so that way I could send it to you guys, and I know that the kids will watch it if I'm wearing yellow hair. So, a couple big updates. First of all, hi. We miss you guys terribly. This has been a definitely different and unexpected outcome for the school year, but we can work together and we can make sure that the school year ends up being just as good, if not better, than any of the others. A couple things that I wanted to remind you about before we get started. I even made little pieces of paper to help us remember and emphasize a couple really important things. Number one, you have online resources. Online resources. There's some great online resources for you to use. Number one is our class website. Our class website will have activities to be downloaded and all of those things that me and Miss Breyer are constantly dating, as well as Mr. Verespi. So that way you guys can stay in the loop and so we don't lose the gains that we've worked so hard to get. Another thing that you can do is you can message us on Dojo. And last but not least, you can of course text the number that I provided on Dojo as a way to communicate with us if you have any questions. One thing I want to make sure that you guys know is that you are not alone. We are in this together. But on top of that, you guys worked so hard this school year. Both parents, teachers, students, we've all worked so hard. One thing I don't want to see happen is for us to lose the gains that we've worked so hard to get. So please, please, please make sure that you are reading 30 minutes a day. You need to be reading 30 minutes a day. If you only have one book, reread the same book. Okay? It is not going to hurt you to continue to read and continue to practice the skills that we've been working on. Another thing I wanted to update you guys about really quickly is as of right now, we are going back to school on April 6th. Sorry, we're going back to school on April 6th. So one thing that we want to keep working on and keep practicing is the skills that we know, So one thing that I have proposed is that we do a book study. A book study. Okay, so a book study is going to go like this. Okay, whether it is at home or at school that this book study takes place, I will give you plenty of notice and I will make sure that you guys are very aware of what is happening and when it is happening. However, what I would like to do is for us to focus on one of 3 books, and I want to hear the kids' insight. I want to hear what they're interested in, as well as parents. If you have any that you don't like or that you're not interested in having your child read, please let me know. The first book that I want to look into is Percy Jackson, the story of a boy who was born of the god of the sea. So essentially what this is this is a focus on Greek mythology. What it will be, which is a big standard for 4th grade. What it is it is just the story of this boy who has really no idea who his dad is until one day he shows up at Camp Half-Blood and he's surrounded by other people who are just like him, half-blooded from the Greek gods and also half-blooded from humans. So he has some interesting superpowers, and I think that this is something that our kids would really like to read. Another book that I'm looking into, and again, I would love to hear your thoughts, is The Seekers by Aaron Hunter. The Seekers by Aaron Hunter. Now, what this is a story about is it's about 3 polar bears who are separated from their moms whenever they're little tiny cubs, and they have to go through so many obstacles to find their family. So that's a really good book. Aaron Hunter is a great author who has a lot of really, really good insight. She also has a really good book series called the Warrior series. If you're looking for something to read, 4th graders love Aaron Hunter's books. A lot of them do. Another one that I really want to look into, and the third one on my list, is James and the Giant Peach. James and the Giant Peach is great because there are movies and videos, and there are so many resources that you can use to help with your understanding of this book. It's also a really good book, and it's kind of a classic, so that would not be a hard one to watch either. One last message is going to be, I'm going to talk to the students in a second, but before I do, what I would like to do with this book study if we do end up doing a little bit more online than we had hoped for, it's something that I can post videos and we can review and we can do lessons that go with the text. So it's not a frivolous or a lost school year. You know what I mean? We can keep working together. We can keep making these gains solid. Now, for my students, two things I want to review with you because I know that you know them and I've already taught them to you. The first is about chunking. Okay, so I have this sentence on my piece of paper. It says, "The Longest Night is a story about a Native American boy who learns about his history." What? Sometimes when I read a sentence, I just think, what in the world is this even trying to say? And so when that's the case, what we need to do is we need to take the big sentence and we need to break it into parts that make sense. So for example, when I see the longest night, pause. I notice that L in longest and N in night are both capitalized. So what do I need to do? I need to really think about it. Why would that be capitalized? Now I'm going to keep going. Is a story. Pause. That's why it's capitalized. The Longest Night must be the title of a book. Then we're going to see about a Native American boy. Oh, okay. Now I'm picturing in my head a book about a boy who is Native American. I'm picturing this boy in my head. I'm already trying to, well, he's not old enough probably to drive because then they would probably call him like a young man, right? So you start to look into this. What does each word actually mean? So a Native American boy who learns, if he's learning about something, he must also have to, he might be missing something. What is he missing? About his history. So now I've broken this down into a picture in my head. It's a story about a Native American boy who has to learn about his history. Now this sentence that originally was kind of long and confusing and didn't really mean anything to me means a whole lot. And when authors write these long sentences, they need you to know what they say. We can't get lost in the sentences. We have to be paying attention. So that's one thing that I want you to be reviewing and practicing at home. Please practice chunking. Chunking, 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 pineapple, chunking. Okay, make sure that you're practicing your chunking. Another thing that you need to be practicing is your character traits. Character traits. I know you guys have all missed my wonderful singing. Okay, so let's talk about character traits. We talked about this in class. There are 4 aspects to character traits. There are 4 things that we look at. The first thing is the character's feelings. Okay, you have to look at how they're feeling. Are they angry? Are they sad? If they were in the same situation as you, if you were in their shoes, would you be feeling the same way that they are? Or would you be angry? Okay, their feelings. What are they feeling? Sometimes that's not directly said. Sometimes you have to guess or infer. Okay, another thing that we want to look into is the character's actions. What do they do? Does your character have to walk to the store because they can't drive? Maybe your character doesn't say how old they are, but you know if they're walking, they can't drive. So they have to be young like you. Okay, so your character's feelings and actions. Okay, the next thing that we have to look at is their dialogue. Now, dialogue, we've already talked about it in class. You should tell your parents if you know what it is right now. Oh, wait. You should have known. Dialogue is what a character says. So, we've talked about this a lot, but what do they say? When their friends mean to them, do they say, "You're mean"? Or do they go, "It's okay, I understand"? How does your character speak? Is it like you? Is it different from you? Is it like maybe more of a teacher? Or is it more like your parents? I don't know. How does your character speak? One of my favorite books growing up was a book called Tuck Everlasting. And those guys, some of them in the book, they talk really differently. Another example is Tom Sawyer, who uses words like y'all and lots of slang Southern talk, all right? If that's the case, you need to be able to know Why are they talking this way? What does it say about them? Finally, we're looking at your character's thoughts. If you're reading a book from a first-person perspective, you'll probably know the main character's thoughts. But if you're reading a book from a third-person perspective, which is zoomed out, you might not know what they're thinking. So that's a great chance for you to really sit back and think, okay, if I was in their shoes, what would I think? My favorite question for you is, if you could invent a best friend for your character of your book, who would it be? Would it be you, or would it be somebody totally different? Would it be somebody that is really happy, or would it be somebody that's not? If you had to invent a best friend for the main character of the book that you're reading, what would they be like? Once again, I'm going to pause, but you can pause the video just so that we have time to really think about it. Get it? Get it? See what I'm doing there? I'm still teaching you, even though it's on a computer. Okay, anyways, all that to be said, I will try to do my best to post some updates and just some reviews that we've been talking about in class. These should not be new things. They're all review. If I can tell you one thing and one thing only, it is do not sit on the couch like a potato. Do not sit in front of your technology like a zombie. Take the time, do the reading because you've worked so hard. Don't lose it now. Okay? I hope that you guys are happy and healthy and safe. And if you have any questions, please feel free to message me. Also, regarding the books that I've already mentioned, if you want to, tell me which ones you like the most, I will be very, very, very happy to hear what you guys have to say. Okay, have a wonderful day, and let me know if you have any questions. Goodbye. Happy pineapple.